Jewish Board Talk with Charisse Zaffert.
Ex-South African Dr. Les Glassman, now living in Israel, travels the world as a philatelist or stamp collector. The latest country he visited was Germany, where he was appointed by the Israeli Philatelic Federation as the Commissioner to FELBA, which recently held an international bilateral German-Israel stamp exhibition. He joins me in a minute to tell me more. If you'd like to join in the conversation, you can tweet me at Chai FM, SMS me on 34519, or WhatsApp me on 061-895-1019. Dr. Les Glassman has made a name for himself as Israel's ambassador for stamp collecting. He has many interesting and positive stories to tell about his travels and the kind of people he has met. More than that, he's become something of an ambassador for Israel and the Jewish people in general. And he joins me now to tell me about his latest trip to Germany. Les, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me.
Well, Charisse, thank you so much for having me. It's always such a pleasure to be here. Can I just mention, before Germany in May, there was something also very interesting in the south of Austria, in Klagenfurt. Not too many people know about this town. It's the sixth biggest city in Austria. They had a stamp exhibition, a national one, but they had 8 other countries around Austria that also exhibited, and they invited Israel to participate. And the reason is that Klagenfurt has a sister city in Israel, in Nazareth Elite. So I went. It was in May. It was incredible. Before I went, I just looked on the internet to find out what is there still remaining Jewish speaking. And they once had a shul, and today there's just a memorial plaque where the shul was. And I went, and I took 5 exhibits with, and I went with my kippah, as I always go, and the people were incredible. They were so welcoming. When I went there, just before, they had given me a brochure of Klagenfurt, and it's given to all the tourists. And when I opened it up, in the middle of the book, I saw a picture of the Beit Knesset in Hebrew. There was once the synagogue, and they showed where I'll just show you a picture of it. They showed the area, the street where it used to be. And I went, I thought I really need to see this plaque and see where the shul was. And today there's they did in marble a memorial, and with the Magen David outside, and it was really something. You can see the people that I met there, because it's a sister city with Nazareth Elite, they have a very close connection with Israel. And if I can just mention, it was just before Shabbat on Friday afternoon. I was walking in the city center, and an Indian actually saw me, and he saw me with a kippah, and he said, "Do you know that there's a Jewish cemetery here?" And I really didn't, and I didn't find it on the internet. So I said, "Can we go?" So we took the bus, and off we went, and it was open for 10 minutes, and there was a woman, a teacher, with 5 young ladies, her students, and she was teaching them Judaism, and the only place she could go was in the cemetery. And I was the first Jew that these 5 students had ever seen. But the mazal is that we came exactly in the 10 minutes that it was open, because it's normally always closed. And it was very positive. They asked me about Israel and about Judaism, and for these girls, they had never met a Jew before.
Just, it's an incredible story. And as I say, you are amazing that through stamp collecting, you managed to travel the world and have such unbelievable experiences. We have to take a break.
Jewish Board Talk with Charisse Zaffert.
And I'm talking to Dr. Les Glassman, who is a philatelist. Dr. Les Glassman, you were recently in Germany for a bilateral Israel-German stamp exhibition. Can you tell me about that?
Well, I really want to thank you for your lovely introduction. I really appreciate it. And it's been a great honor to represent Israel. I really do appreciate it that they asked me to do it, and I do it gladly. And it's just to represent one's countries. It's incredible. So what happened in Germany, it was actually a bittersweet experience, because in July, my wife and I were in Poland, and we went to the camps, and you see the unimaginable horrors of the Shoah. And what was happening here, this exhibition was a week after Kristallnacht, the night of shattered glass. And I felt by going there, we would, in a way, rebuild the relationship and to foster good connections between the two people in the two countries. And what they had done in Fellbach, they they sent me a poster and they sent me stamps, 2 stamps, that the German Philatelic Federation had issued where it has Israel and Germany on the stamp. And these 2 stamps you can buy in any post office in Germany. And what I was so overcome is that they had a cancellation, and on the cancellation it's got Fellbach for the exhibition with the Brandenburg Gate and the menorah.
So when you're talking about a cancellation, what do you mean?
So when you send a letter, and here's a copy of it, when you send off a letter, and people still do send off letters, so they put the stamp on, and to show that it's been used, they cancel it. And the cancellation,
sorry, that's what you mean, yes.
It has the Brandenburg Gate and the menorah, and both
that's
symbols
incredible.
of unity, freedom, friendship, and peace. And I thought it was so significant. And coming a week after Kristallnacht, it was incredible. Also, on their first day cover that they gave us, they had the Israeli and the German flag. And we were the special, it was just it was just Germany and Israel at this exhibition. And it was, when my wife and I went to the venue, we saw the Israeli flag. They had it outside in full prominence, and the opening address with the Israeli flag and the German flag. The mayor of the town, of the city of Fellbach, Gabriela Zoll, a wonderful lady, she came up to my wife and I, and here's a picture of her. She's such a lovely lady. And she said at the age of 18, she came to Israel, and she fell in love with the country. And they were very welcoming, and they were just very appreciative that I brought 12 exhibits with. And it was just a most remarkable experience. People in the town, some of them, quite a few had actually gone to Israel. Some spoke Hebrew. There's one person I met that has a friend who lives in the same street as me in Beit Vegan. It was incredible. One of the judges sent me in the post. He told me that he had personally was involved in the issuing of a stamp of a synagogue in his town. And he sent me a letter with the picture of the stamp. And he was one of the judges at this exhibition. Also, which was quite unbelievable, when they gave the award at the end and everybody exhibited got an award. It was a gold little medal. So on the medal, it's got embossed the Brandenburg Gate and the menorah. And this, whoever exhibited, and they had exhibitors from, and these were world-class exhibitors, the level of the exhibition was extremely high. And with the top German exhibitors, and everybody got this medal with the menorah and the Brandenburg Gate.
Les, how does it work with who decides what to exhibit, and how, when you say you brought things to exhibit, how do you decide what to exhibit?
Okay, so it's each country, and it goes under the auspices of the FIP. And countries that are involved in stamps, and most countries in the world they have their own national exhibitions where anybody can, they can organize an exhibit. It can be a 1 frame, a 3, 5 frame, 8 frame, on different topics, on postal history, on thematics. It's a whole variety. And then it's awarded medals, not only on the value of the stamps, it's on the research that's involved, the rarity, and then people can take it a step further. Then you have, from the national, you can go to international, but you have to have been awarded at least more than a silver medal. And just by exhibiting and by showcasing, you're like an ambassador. The stamps themselves are like an ambassador for the country, because people see, from the stamps, you see commemorating different events in their country. And it's such a window to history for the country and for everybody to see. And so I took 12 exhibits, and out of those 12, we were very fortunate to get 3 gold medals and 5 special prizes.
So what did you choose to exhibit? So tell me one of the exhibits that got a gold.
So we had the Road to Jerusalem. That's the very first stamp of the winding road going up to Jerusalem. It was issued in the early 50s. And he won a gold. He has the artist proof. So you have the stamp, but you also have the artist who actually designed the stamp with a signature, with his proof. So that is unique. It's unique in the world, and it's a magnificent exhibit. I actually did Mozambique. I was very fortunate to do quite well with the Mozambique as well. And a ex-South African, Julian Shamroth, who I'm sure a lot of our listeners will know, he exhibited Rhodesia, and he got a gold for that as well. But then we had other exhibits which people had postcards and maxi cards depicting various scenes in Israel, And it was just a very exciting and joyous thing for people to actually see what Israel has, and it's really it showcases the country as well.
And when you visit these countries, I mean, you talk about the good relationships, and obviously stamp collecting is one forum, for Israel to be showcased and to create that dialogue that you speak about. You always find warmth. You're always greeted by warmth.
I think what happened, like when my wife and I also, when we went to Indonesia, people there, they were very appreciative that we made the effort to come, because it's not such a simple thing to go. Feldbach it's part of Stuttgart, and it's quite far from, we had to go via Frankfurt. And I think just bringing the exhibits and participating and being willing to be there, and you actually speak to the judges, you speak to the organizers. At the opening ceremony, they spoke about the previous history, with the difficult history with Germany and Israel, and how they want to improve it. So I think it's you just develop, not only on a personal level, but you develop long-lasting friendships. After the exhibit, I received in the post various journals from Germany of the different towns that nearby Feldbach, where there was once a synagogue, where they took us to a cemetery, where the cemetery still exists, and they sent me a booklet on the cemetery, and you still keep in touch. So like they say, stamps know no boundaries. They cross oceans and seas throughout the world, and you really make everlasting friends and friendships.
What was the reception? My last question to you. The reception back in Israel. Is there an interest in Israel about the work that you do around the world?
Okay, so thanks for asking. So what was really nice, the Jerusalem Report, and also for our listeners out there, Steve Lindy, who used to be the editor of the Jerusalem Post, so he's now the editor of the Jerusalem Report. So when I told him that I was going to Feldbach, he said, could I send an article? And he actually published it in the Jerusalem Report, a very nice article about the exhibit, with the photograph of the poster with the stamps with the German and Israeli flag. And we've had very wonderful response. The response has been enormous. It's been fantastic.
Incredible, because you are a great ambassador, as I said, both for Israel and for the Jewish people.
It's
and
so kind of you.
Amazing work, the adventures that you have when you travel.
Well, I really want to thank you for letting me share this with our listeners, and really thank you for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it.